All right, now we'll get right on to item number 11, which is the annual report from the Parks and Recreation Commission.
I got a chayote plant. That's amazing. You know what chayote is? Central American squash. San Bruno's son.
We appear to be having
Hot enough for that?
a short technical difficulty. All right, guys. By the way, the music was a really nice touch.
We did it for you.
Yeah, of course you did. There we go. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Mike Palmer, and I'm currently serving as the chairperson for the Parks and Recreation Commission. I'm here tonight to present the Commission's annual report and the 2016-2017 work plan. Our slide number 2 shows our Commission members for 2015-2016. Looks like a really happy group over there. I'd like to introduce some of the fellow commissioners that are here with me this evening. Lucy Zamatia, Commissioner Laura Davis, Lori Greenberg.
Hey, stand up.
I think Lori just stood up.
Had to take a shot. Had to take a
Chris
shot.
Gonzalez, and Commissioner Dave Nigel, who has a lot of seniority. So I passed over Mike Salazar on purpose because I wanted to introduce the newest member of our commission. And Mr. Salazar brings a lot of experience to the commission. I'm fairly certain that some of you may have met him previously. And we're very happy to have him. So Commissioner Salazar. Our student member's not here tonight, but I just wanted to briefly mention to you who she is. Her name is Charlene Smith. Charlene's a senior at Cappuccino High School. She's active in sports and has served as the captain for the wrestling, water polo, and swim teams. She's looking forward to attending the University of Minnesota and hopes to be able to study nursing. So Charlene can't be here tonight, but I wanted you to know who she was. The purpose of the commission, the purpose of the Parks and Recreation Commission is to make recommendations to the City Council regarding community recreation needs. These can include a lot of different things, such as input on recreational activities, input on the various classes and programs offered by the Recreation Department, the use of recreational facilities and equipment, and the operation, supervision, and maintenance of playgrounds, athletic fields, the community swimming pool, indoor recreation facilities, auditoriums, and facilities designated for recreational use, with the exception of the senior center. As you know, they have their own commission. Slide number 4 details our accomplishments for 2015-2016. These will be shown and discussed in a little more detail as I move through the presentation, but I wanted to go over them briefly. The Parks and Recreation Commission provided input and support for new playground equipment that was installed at Commodore Park. Worked with staff to develop and implement a plan for vehicle barriers at Commodore Park. Completed the first phase of the master plan for the reconstruction of Earl Glenview Park. Provided staff with input relative to the redesign of the Youth Enrichment Scholarship Program. Excuse me. Worked with staff to install a stop-look sign in City Park. Assisted staff with changes to the master fee schedule. And in April, the Commission awarded the annual Community Recognition Award. And as I said, we'll discuss these in a little more detail as I go through. Slide number 5 shows Commodore Park. The Parks and Recreation Commission assisted with the planning, development, and the installation of the new playground equipment. In addition, the Commission worked with the staff to install some natural barriers to deter vehicles from entering the park. Some of the features of these two projects include the new playground equipment, which has a nautical theme to it. I've been by several times, and it appears to be very popular. A newly designed foundation for the play area, which is a soft rubber material designed to prevent injuries. The installation of trees and bushes which have been placed in specific locations to keep cars, trucks from entering the park. One of our commissioners had noticed on weekends that vehicles were hopping the curb along Cherry Avenue. So we took action to mediate that. I want to mention one other thing about Commodore Park. In addition to the things that are up there, we also were able to incorporate the city's Adopt a Park program there, and we had some new shrubs planted around the Commodore Park sign. I don't know if you had a chance to go out there and look at those. The group that took part in that planting of the bushes was Brownie Troop number 62402. And this is just an indication of how well the Adopt a Park program is doing. We think it's doing really well, and Commissioner Gonzalez is the subcommittee chairperson for that and has done a wonderful job. Slide number 6 notes the work of the commission and its subcommittee that was appointed to assist with the development of the Earl Glenview Park Reconstruction Master Plan. I'd like to recognize the 3 commissioners that were appointed to this subcommittee. Commissioners Lucy Zamatia, Lori Greenberg, and Laura Davis. They were active participants at the 3 community workshops, which took place on February 2nd, March 21st, and May 12th. All 3 commissioners will continue to take part in any meetings or study sessions. The commission recently approved the draft of a reconstruction plan that had been recommended by the majority of the residents of the area. The plan was presented and approved by the City Council at its meeting of Tuesday, September 27. I wanted to note that the commission will continue to take part in this project and has identified the project as part of its work plan for 2016-2017. The redesign of the Youth Enrichment Scholarship application, including redesigning the guidelines and the actual application so that they're more streamlined and easier to understand by those wishing to submit an application, and it's now posting the program on the city's website. I'll talk a little bit about this. For the past couple of years, we've kind of gone back and forth about how to make this part of the park a little safer for people that ride bikes, rollerblade, skateboards. What you're looking at is where the City Park pathway intersects at the employee parking lot behind third base of Lara Field. So we frequently discuss the park pathway that terminates in that parking lot. The commission, we spent a considerable amount of time discussing this at meetings and formed a subcommittee to determine the best plan for the area. It was the eventual finding of the commission that incorporating the city's stop, wave, and walk program, but in a shorter version that had been developed by the Traffic and Pedestrian Commission would be appropriate. And this slide shows the actual markings on the pavement now. And we feel that this was a good solution for everyone. And my wing person needs to, there you go, okay. The Community Recognition Award. This year, the Parks and Recreation Commission awarded the Community Recognition Award to Tony and Elisa Giraldi. Nominations for the Community Recognition Award are accepted during February of each year, and 3 nominations were submitted for this fiscal year. Tony and Elisa were recognized for their 25 years of service to the nutrition program at the San Bruno Senior Center and the San Bruno community. They were both in attendance at the April Parks and Recreation Commission to receive this award, and they were quite delighted to have the award. It was kind of a touching little ceremony for us. So, slide number 10 details our goals and our work plan for 2016, 2017. We're going to continue to provide input and recommendations for the design and reconstruction of Earl Glenview Park. We're going to provide input and recommendations for the planning and the development of the new park to be located at the Florida Avenue property. Provide input and recommendations for the city's initiative to evaluate, program, and construct a new recreation complex, pool, and our community center. Continue to provide input and recommendations for improvements to the city's parks pathways. Continue to provide input and recommendations to the city's dog park. This will involve the formation of a subcommittee to review the city's existing dog park, and this will lead to some formal recommendations which will be presented to the city council at a later date. We're also going to focus on restructuring the Parks and Recreation Commission's Parks Inspection Program. So this will conclude my presentation for this evening. Do you have any questions for me or for any of the other commissioners that are here?
Any questions for Mike? Ken?
Through the, oh,
I just love Tony and Elise, and
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I just think that that anyone that wins that award, and I thank you for recognizing them. We need to do a little bit more to let the community know that they've been recognized, and so I'll leave it to the commission to come up with something probably for next year, is to really to recognize them and possibly remind us who are past winners of this, so so that we so that they deserve that ongoing recognition.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. The last thing you mentioned, reconstruction of your park inspection program. What do you mean by that, and
Well-
what is that going to entail?
Currently, we inspect some facilities each year, but in the past, we've found that might not be the most effective way to do that. So we're looking at different ideas to maybe focus on specific areas and specific needs at different places.
Okay, I have.
Yeah, sorry.
No, the reason I'm kind of nodding, I have let's see, I have a specific, not a suggestion, but a comment, I suppose. I'm familiar with the 7th Avenue Park, not the one by Walnut, but the other one on the south side of San Bruno Avenue. And to me, it seems extremely underutilized and kind of blank. So I'm hoping that is one of the top things on your list.
Well, one of the things that that the commission had been doing was rotating and not getting to every park maybe as soon as they should have. So we can certainly take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Okay.
Through the chair. I just wanted to also add to what Ken said. I was at that April meeting when they were awarded, and to my memory, they didn't even know they were getting it.
No,
It was
they
a
didn't.
surprise. Fred Perez, who used to work at the senior center, actually coordinated and got them here. He's retired, but it was important. They had worked together. He worked for the city, and they volunteered for it. So it was actually a very special moment, especially that they were surprised. I don't know. I forgot the reason they thought they were there. But
Yeah, I don't know, but they were certainly surprised.
Fred
And
did
you're
a good
right,
job.
it was a touching little moment.
But
I
that
would-
says something when you have a retired employee comes back to be a part of that. So I would agree that I'd like to see it more advertised as well as participated and give them that recognition. It goes back many years. I remember the plaque at the rec center lobby on some great names that are on that plaque.
My wing person's taking all these
Marty?
notes.
First of all, thank you all for the work that you're doing. It's really important. I was wondering if you could look into, give me some feedback regarding a downtown park. We currently have Centennial Plaza, or is that the Centennial Park? I'm not sure which one it is. Plaza. It's roped off. There's a fountain in it. I'd like to see a real park downtown. We have a downtown children theme. It's prevalent across downtown. And what better than to attract children and families into our downtown by having a park downtown? A lot better than roping off an area. And I'd like to see what the commission thinks about using your experience, because you already went through 2 park designs, and maybe we don't need to hire an expensive consultant to come up with the ideas, since we have an experienced commission. So I would ask if you can look that into.
I will make sure that it gets on a future agenda.
Thank you.
Good. And as I always say for our commissions, boards, and committees, you guys are the lifeblood of this whole city. People don't realize the thousands of volunteer hours that you all put in. It is all volunteer, and especially Park and Rec, because you're so close to the community. I mean, people aren't just at the parks on a weekend. They're here every day of the week, San Bruno Park. You can look down there and it's vibrant. So you play a real important part in the life of our city, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.